Alright, so we pretty much left off with Yamcha and Gohan beginning their demon time training, eh? So, beep, 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 beep. We would just pan right back into it. Like, these niggas back in the thick of it, bro. They throwing good hands, bro. Good hands, good hands. We. Kamehameha. Yamcha smirking. One-headed, Kamehameha. Blast, boom, boom, boom. Good hands, good hands. Backflip. Go on, pushing Yamcha. Beep, 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 beep. But this Gohan, you could see it even in the brief scuffles, he's actually concentrating a lot more, and he's not just trying to brute force it. Now, you could say that's due to the fact that he's not getting trained with Goku, or the fact that he's getting trained by a human that can't solely rely on, brute force 100%, whatever the case may be. All right. So right now, Yamcha, spends a little bit of time saying, all right, we're going to work on a couple of combination moves. We might not use them anytime soon, but we want to have this in the back pocket, okay, just in case. And it's like, all right, bet, just in case we ever get an android off by himself or off alone, we want to be able to take, advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, all right, no problem. Just make sure no matter what happens, you won't forget these combo moves. And even after we leave here, you keep practicing them, okay? And I'm sorry, guys, I'm laughing because I just know how I'm about to do this story, and I'm going to be very content on how, juicy this story is overall. And he's like, all right, so this is formation A, this is formation B, this is formation C. And then it would be like, time skips as this is happening of them practicing different combos. Yamcha's on one end, Gohan's on the other end, or like if they're one person at the front, one person at the back, they're practicing all these different team combos and stuff like that. And Gohan's like, all right, cool. And now this is where things get nice, right? Is they start training, working on their forms, right? And this is my favorite part here, okay? Because Gohan's like, wait, Yamcha, you never explained to me. I'm half Saiyan, but you're just a human. He says with the most respect possible, but he's like, you're just human. How would you even have a transformation? He's like, well, apparently I'm not 100% human, but I can't confirm it. When I was in here my first time around, I was training, and I was in the desperate need of more power, and it happened. I awakened this form, as you can see. My features, his hair is not fully spiked up, but his hair is a little more pronounced. It's like a in between of regular hair and then Super Saiyan hair. So it's spiked up just a little bit more. And he's sitting there like that, and he's like, yeah. So it's a weird alternate state. It's kind of like I'm using, you remember Goku using Kaioken, I think against Frieza, if I recall correctly, right? And he's like, oh yeah, my dad did use that move, and then they're having a flashback about it and shit, right? And so he's like, yeah, it's something like that, but not inherently Kaioken by itself, okay? It's more of a primal state. It brings out all of my animal instincts. And since one of the things that I'm most familiar with are wolves, I think I was able to truly tap into that side of myself. So I would call this wolf stage 1. He's like, oh, wait, stage 1? Does that mean there's a stage 2? Yes, in theory, but I've only been able to make it to 0.5. And it's really 1.5, but 0.5 sounds cooler. It's like, I've only been able to make it to 0.5. And he was like, wait, 0.5? Wait, does that mean you have an extended form from the one you're using now? And he's like, yes, actually, I do. He's like, ha, and then he powers up. Muscles start to bulk up a little bit. His nails start to kind of sharpen up a little bit. His overall features start to be more savage-like and just more wild-like. And his voice gets slightly deeper, and he's like, this is stage 0.5 or 1.5 for the long version. His hair doesn't flow, but his hair is long to begin with, but it has more of like a majestic wolf-like manner. It's like wolf. I'll probably call it WP now. Wolf personified, and he's just like, now this is really amazing. Now there is. I haven't fully got it, but I know I can take it a bit further as he proceeds to power up and his key spikes, right? This is basically a homage to how Goku was training in the time chamber originally. But with all this excess power, he was like, if I can control my ki a little bit better here, his muscles start to bulk up a little bit. Boom, 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 boom. And he's like, but the problem with this is, this was something I was testing, even though I didn't get full information on it. This is still in beta, but this one is amazing. He's like, wait, we can defeat the androids with that. I know for a fact that would be stronger than. I know for a fact we can beat the androids with that. Wrong. Gohan's like, wait, what? This wouldn't work. And I was like, wait, what do you mean? You're like so much stronger, like 300 times stronger. Hell, maybe even more. Against two androids that don't lose stamina? Go back to base form. But Yamcha, you said, go back to base form, Gohan. I want to show you something. And he's like, okay. He's a little scared because he's like, he's so strong. I hope you don't try to attack me. Come over here. And they're basically right next to each other. All right. We're going to make it. He shoots like a little spear ball. We're going to race to there. And we're going to go at our fastest speeds. Okay? And Gohan's like, all right, here, if you make it here, I'll get you some chocolate. And they've been in here for a couple of months. He's like, chocolate? What you mean, my boy? He's like, I brought me a few chocolate bars with your boy. He's like, I'll give you a piece. He said, shit, say less. Gohan powers up in his base. He's like, shit, say less. He's like, ready, set, go. He said, they both like sprint off. Boosh. And then Gohan makes it there. And he's like, all right, I won. I got the... Oh. Gohan just gets hit with realization. He's like, exactly. And he's like, yeah. And this dude was just sobbing. He was like, yeah. That's kind of why it sucks. This lack of speed is not optimal. So I have to just stick with 0.5 until I can crank it up all the way around. Because this excess, this hybrid form, or this form here, just it gives me strength, but that's very insufficient when in an actual combat situation. And he's like, okay, that makes sense. And then he's like, but don't get me wrong though. That doesn't mean that I'm weak by much. He's like, wait, what? Kaioken times 30. And like the ore that's around him is almost like kind of like how Naruto's Nine-Tailed Fox ore is. And he just wolf. And you just hear the wolf noise. He's like, I can crank it up to 50, but then he cranks it up to 50 times 50. Boom. And you're just looking the ore, he's just basking in the ore. I can hold it to about here for a decent amount of time without losing too much stamina or, getting, hurt, drained out too bad. And he's like, well, what, how? I thought the Kaioken damages the user's body. Yes, without proper ki control. Goku probably never bothered training this form, especially since he had Kaioken against the Saiyans, which, once again, I wasn't there for because I was weak and died. And then he had, then y'all basically shot right off to planet Namek and he got a new transformation, even though Kaioken isn't a transformation, it's a technique. And I doubt he ever bothered touching it again. And he probably wouldn't have touched it for many, 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 many years, for all we know. Think about it. Your Super Saiyan is approximately, give or take, maybe like a 50-ish time multiplier. Versus the 50-time Kaioken. And Gohan's like, oh, I see. Wait, what if I combine Super Saiyan? You barely can even contain Super Saiyan. You need to work on your ki control. And one of those things Piccolo was saying, you might need to meditate a little bit. And that's going to be where we leave this part off here, my boys.